Hey, Fred, what's a designated hitter?
It's something the American League started years ago. You know, the pitcher doesn't have to bat.
Really?
Yes, the National League never instituted it. Ron Blomberg of the Yankees was the first designated hitter in 1973.
Do you think that's fair?
I think it makes it unequal. You have to be consistent.
Seems to me the American League has the advantage.
Young Matt, you've just put your finger on a very interesting notion.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun. Whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking sun to sun, 'cause he's my best friend. Yeah, he's my best friend. La la, ba la 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 ya, ba la 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 la, ba la 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 ya. Oh, beep, bo, 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 rubba-dubba, beep, bo, bo, rubba-dubba, beep, bo, bo, bo.
Hello, welcome to Bucco Banter. My name is Fred Rossano, and this is Matthew Peaslee, or is it Matt Peaslee?
Just Matt. Only Matthew when I'm in trouble.
I know that story there, because I used to be called Frederico when I was in trouble. But we're here to talk about the Buccos, and it was a pretty great season last year. And we're both hardcore Bucco fans, obviously. I'm a little bit older here, and my recollections of the Pirates go back to 1966, in which I can remember they were in a pennant race toward the end of the year. That's when they only had two leagues.
Two leagues.
A National League and an American League.
No division.
No divisions.
No wild
cards.
Jeez.
None of that. But the Pirates were in the heat of a pennant race toward the end of the year, and I can remember NBC Sports on the game of the week. They had a doubleheader with the Pirates and the Giants, and they lost both games. Mm-hmm. So I took that pretty hard, but
you got some
through
good
the
times.
years, yeah, I've had the 71 World Series and the 79 World Series. But after that was kind of lean. But
Yep.
you've had...
That's where I come in. I was 3 years old in 92 when they went to the playoffs for the last time. Then it was losing season after losing season for 20 years up until last season. But
you don't remember much about that 92 season, do you?
No, I don't. I remember I had little starting lineup action figures of Barry Bonds, Doug Drabeck, Bobby Bonilla. I could bring them in sometime for show and tell if you'd like to see them. But I remember having my dad buy me those when I was little, but I don't really remember watching the games. It wasn't probably until around 94. I remember going to one of my first games at Three River Stadium right around the time when they had the All-Star game there for the first time. I remember having an All-Star game T-shirt from 94. But year after year, me and my dad would go to games, 10 to 20 games a year at Three River Stadium, 10 to 20 games a year, and starting in 2001 when PNC Park opened. So, I mean, I would go to so many games when I was in college, too. Me and my buddies would drive up every Friday or Saturday night and go. And I got ragged on a little bit for being such a diehard Pirate fan because, really, what was there to cheer for? I mean, I would find stuff to cheer for, like Brian Giles and Jason Kendall and those players back in the day. But it wasn't up until 2013 when we really had something to cheer for that the entire nation caught on to. It was just a really special season last year with 94 wins, and October 1st, that wild card game was something I'll never forget, no matter what happens in the rest of my life. Jeez, I hear those chants in my sleep, and I can only imagine what Johnny Cueto went through, dropping the ball, giving up the whole.
No, he had a snicker on his face after that, but he wasn't smiling too much after that.
Jeez,
I've always been a big that game. I don't care if they win next 2-3 World Series in a row. You will never be able to duplicate. It was almost like an outside force had taken over that stadium with, or that park. I'm sorry, that's not a stadium. Three Rivers was a stadium.
Yeah, this is a baseball field.
Yeah, it's a field. But when it was almost like an outside force had taken it over, and you would never duplicate that energy that was on the field that day.
It was probably like an English Premier League soccer game with people going nuts in the stands. I mean, I've been to Stanley Cup final game with the Penguins. I've been to Steeler games. I've been to West Virginia football games, and there was no crowd energy, noise, anything like that for a baseball game. And it was definitely something special with 40,000 fans dressed all in black, all chanting, cheering the same things. Thousands of people just around the park wanting a taste of the energy. And the celebration afterwards was something I'll never forget too. With people flooding the streets, nobody wanted to go home. Everybody just wanted to stick around to see what was going to happen next. And I mean, the Pirates go on to win 2 more playoff games in the division series against the Cardinals. Season ends on the road with the loss in St. Louis. But I mean, something we'll never forget. I mean, this team finally put it all together, found a way to win. They know how to win now, and good things are going to come in the future.
You mentioned, I think a lot of depends on the stadium too, of making it so more close than it was.
Sure.
Like Three Rivers they all called them all cookie cutter stadiums, but I even go back to Forbes Field to show you how old I am. And we didn't go to that many games, but I can remember. I remember seeing Clemente down in right field. You'd look up over top, and you look down there and see Clemente, and you were just in awe. And the stadium was built so oddly. You would have big pillars right in front of you, where you'd have to literally move around move around the pillar in order to see the, if you'd be bumping into heads with the guy next to you or whatever, in order to get a good view of the ball in the outfield or whatever. But it was a different time then. We would park on in people's yards. It was in Oakland section of Pittsburgh, and you would literally come up to somebody's yard, and the guy would say, "Yeah, sure, give me 50 cents. You can park here."
Like a high school football game on a Friday night. Yeah. Now you got to park 2 miles away for $25. That's just shows you how far we've come with that. But yeah, I think PNC Park was built for nights like October 1st with, I mean, an intimate setting. It's one of the most beautiful.
Was the stadium even shaking?
Probably.
You could feel the stadium shaking. It's like Three Rivers. I can remember times.
It was a different kind of material that was made out of, but I remember hearing it shake too sometimes. But yeah, the brick finish of PNC Park was even rattling with how loud it was. And a beautiful park on any day, but when it's jam-packed with meaningful baseball, with the entire nation watching, it was breathtaking, really. But it was definitely a special season, one I'll never forget. Like you said, no matter what happens, they could go on to win a World Series this year or next year, but I'll still always remember what happened on October 1st with that wild card game and the win over Cincinnati.
Cueto will always have that in the back of his mind, and but that was last year. But good things still are ahead. Right?
Yeah, we got we talked about the core nucleus we have coming back. We have the best player in the National League in Andrew McCutchen, MVP. Neil Walker at second base, Pedro Alvarez at third, Starling Marte in left field. I mean, these guys see how to win and got a taste of it, and I think they're hungry for more now. I mean, they're still young and entering their prime and have a lot of good years ahead of them, and we got control of them for a while. Well, Fred, I go on eBay a lot and just find goofy pirate things. I mean, I have a pretty extensive collection. Look at this thing I picked up the other day for like $4 online, and I don't even know what it is. I just thought it looked cool. Have you ever seen something like this before? Yeah,
we used to get these at the stadium. Which, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, this is a misprint on here. It should say Three Rivers Stadium, not Three Rivers Stadium. Yeah. But these were there was popcorn in here, and. After you're done with the popcorn, it looks like there's there's some slobber still on the end of it from the megaphone. And you would just use it as a megaphone. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. With the old pirate logo, which is the new pirate logo.
Right. Yeah, they got this on the hats now. But yeah, you could probably still see some of the slime and butter from that popcorn in here. So
who knows what exciting game they witnessed.
Right. Still wouldn't top that wild card game, though.
No.
But if I had one of these at the wild card game, I could have made some noise through that megaphone.
See, somebody brought it home as their own. Looks like it's falling apart here, but somebody brought it home as their own souvenir.
And I bought it off them for $3.
You were the lucky recipient of it. Matt, let's talk a little bit about the off season. A lot of people said that the Pirates didn't do much in the off season, but I look at it as insanity on the part of a lot of the owners. I know a lot of these teams are getting tons of TV money coming in. Each team's getting $20-25 million, but a lot of people were critical of the Pirates for not re-signing A.J. Burnett. And whether they did or didn't, I think part of their approach to the offseason was anticipating them signing A.J. and them not anticipating him taking that long of a time to decide whether he was going to sign or not with the Pirates or whether he was going to retire. But it had to affect the bottom line somewhere along the line.
The plans of what they wanted to add and how much they wanted to spend and everything. He was a major piece of this offseason, not only for the Pirates, but obviously, as we saw, for what he could bring in the free agent market.
I think they signed Edison Volquez and they made a trade for Chris Stewart and basically some minor deals. Right. I really think maybe one of their new approaches will be like the wait and see. They got Lambeau and Gabby Sanchez alternating at first base against righties and lefties. In the right field, they're going to go with Travis Snyder and Tabata and see how that works out. And I think they'll continue, as Neil Huntington always says, they'll continue to work on maybe always working on a trade if it's going to benefit the team. But I know some talk about signing Kendrys Morales from the Mariners, but I doubt that's going to happen because they value their number one picks, their draft picks.
And draft picks are what have got him here with a lot of these players, and the draft picks that we're going to see by the end of the season, the Gregory Polanco. I mean, I know he was a free agent signing down there in the Dominican Republic, but Jameson Taillon, we're excited to see what he can do. I mean, he'll probably be up on the team by July. That's what they're kind of projecting, sometime near the middle of the season. But early reports in spring training said that he's coming along stronger than Garrett Cole did last year. And we saw what Garrett Cole could do, and it'd be pretty killer of a rotation if you get Cole up there and Taillon up there on top of what they already have, and Charlie Morton, who they locked down with a pretty good contract, that was another going to be okay for him. Season moves, if you want to look at it that way. And who knows what Volquez can do? I mean, they bring in A.J. Burnett 2 years ago, who was maybe a project of sorts after heading down on downward slope with the Yankees, but he definitely revitalized his career, turned it on, thanks to Ray Searage and a lot of the coaches helping him develop and just having
West Liberty graduate.
Yep, Ray Searage, West Lib. And then last year with Francisco Liriano, I mean, he was on a downward slope too with his career. He was struggling, just trying to get back on track, and he definitely did that last year. And that's Volquez, who struggled a little bit he was with the Rangers and the Padres, and I mean, really kind of fell off the baseball map. But now he seems confident.
I think Liriano was part of the reason why he signed. He said these guys, can deal with your problems with the strike zone and all that stuff. And hopefully that'll work. Good story with Ray Searage, though, a couple years ago, we were at the Caravan, and I said, "What do you tell people that are trying to, desperately to get over that?" I think it was even before the collapse of 2 years ago. I said, "What do you tell people, to get you over the hump there for the 82 wins?" And he put his arm around me and he said, "It's going to be okay." He goes, "How old are you?" And I said, 54, 55. I'm your age. He said, "But it's going to be okay. Relax. We're working at it. We're working at it."
Your guys' mustaches are pretty similar too.
But I really think that I think he's done wonders for the team there as far as the pitching staff and stuff. But they're heading in the right direction, and I think they're more their philosophy now is a wait and see attitude of what's about to transpire. For
which could be good because it's there's nothing that says it's going to completely backfire on him. And I mean, look at the leadership AJ brought to the clubhouse last year and the year before that.
No doubt.
But they're saying that, I mean, Liriano may not be as outspoken as AJ Burnett is, but he's a veteran who's been around a little bit, and he could kind of fill that role as being the number one guy in the rotation who can help mold these young pitchers. I mean, Jeff Locke kind of really fell under AJ's wing last year, and that looks like what Volquez is going to do with Liriano this year. But
hopefully Locke won't follow the same pattern as McDonald, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think most of his was a little bit more injuries.
Right. Yeah, and
not really worried about the starting pitching as much as the hitting, I think.
Right, yeah, and people were concerned, the rotation's going to fall apart because we don't have AJ anymore. But I'm pretty confident, as you are, with what they can do. Especially
the starting pitching. If you looked at the starting pitching last year at this time, of what they had potentially as opposed to this year, I still think it's like night and day. They've got a lot of sort of known, Genmar Gomez and some other guys that sort of proved themselves last year. But,
and what's even good, I mean, these guys that aren't going to make 5 spots in the rotation, they're going to be pretty strong in the bullpen like they were last year. I mean, you look at Melanson and Grilli in the back end, but everybody before that was pretty lights out from the 5th inning on. We were one of the top in baseball. Yeah,
it's the pitching staff, I think, is going to be okay. It's just that they can get enough hitting to get them over the hump.
Well, thanks for joining us on our first installment of Bucco Banter. We look forward to bringing you in-depth analysis and other fun stuff throughout the entire Pirates season. Spring training is still rolling on pretty strong here, and we'll look forward to giving you some of those highlights before opening day on March 31st, which is only 21 days away. I can't wait.
Look at it this way. It's been a horrible winter, and that we're already past those 4 words, pitchers and catchers report. We'll see you next week. 3, 2. Hello, and welcome to Bucco Banter. My name is Fred Rossano.
Stop!
Hello. Welcome to Bucco Banter. This is a show in which we talk nothing but Bucco. Stop. 2. Hello, welcome to Bucco Banter. My name is Fred Rossano, and this is Matthew Peaslee.